Which one should I call you? Should I call you Esther or Lady Esther Jay?
You're free to call me anything you wish to. I'm comfortable with both. Anyway, my name is Esther Jay.
Wow, wonderful. You are welcome to the show. Please, in 1 or 2 minutes, can you briefly tell us, introduce yourself, and let the audience know what you're going to talk about? Thank you. Over to
Right.
you.
Thank you. So I'm Esther Jelenke, and I have a daughter who is an adult. She's 26 actually, and she has autism and learning difficulties. And yeah, so I'm a parent to an adult child with special needs. And she lives at home. And yes, this is how we've been navigating and managing. And I don't know if this would help as well. Um, I am a single mom, and so you will understand what the challenges are, having a special need child and being a single parent. So yeah.
And if just to add to that, because I know a bit about you, and that's not the only child you've got.
No, I have only child. I have three children, but they're not children anymore. They're
Yeah,
adults.
they are not adults.
My oldest daughter, she's how old is Debbie now? Debbie's an adult. She's a madam. She's 30 actually.
In our 30s, right? Wow.
Yes, 30 years old. And my special need daughter is the middle child. She's
Mm.
26. And my younger son is 20. So I now have adult children.
Wow. Wow, that
Like,
really places you in the right position to tell us how you have been coping for decades. You are talking about
uh,
over 3 decades. So you've done brilliantly, honestly. You've done brilliantly. So
thank you,
that's the
God.
reason why we are inviting you just to address our parents. People, maybe they are just starting and they don't know what to do. So with your experience, I'm sure it will be valuable to them. So we're going to start the question now. The first question I have for you is, what are the biggest emotional challenges you face while you're raising your child?
Okay. So my child, let me just
And how you
her name,
navigate
her
it,
name is Gracie
Gracie.
Yomi Jelenke. The emotional challenges. I don't know where to start. There are lots of, but I think the first emotional challenge for me, and the reason why my emotional challenge lingered was the fact that I never accepted initially that she was special need. When she was diagnosed, well, she was born, I think when she was born, she was okay. She was a normal child. And she started talking like normal children until she was about, I think it was about 18 months, going to 2 years old. And I remember that day, I was at work and I didn't even notice, God have mercy. I was working during the day and my husband was working nighttime. So I remember coming home from work and my husband was telling me then that he felt there was something going on with my daughter, with Yomi. And he said that he noticed that this girl has just became pleasant, like she became suddenly quiet. She stopped doing things. And he was wondering what could be the cause. So when he told me, I thought, okay, I don't think there's anything wrong that we'll take her to the doctor. But then I didn't take it seriously. Possibly, I'm a Christian to let you guys know that I am a Christian. But then I could say maybe I was a baby Christian. So I did not think anything of it. So I went to the doctor, took her to the doctor, and the doctor, I remember that day that the doctor looked at her, tested her, did everything. And he was confused because he had always been our family doctor from my oldest daughter. So he now said to me, he turned his chair at me and said, Mrs. Jalenke, I don't know what to say about Gracie, but I can tell you that it's as if something came and turned off her developmental suddenly. And he did that, turned off. He used his
Wow.
switch that something just came and turned it off. And I was like, what could that be? And what can we do? So he said, okay, he would take her, he would send her for to a nursery where she could mix with her mates. Maybe that would help her to gain back her speech and gain back her confidence and be a normal child. So he did that, and she was there for almost a year, I think. And that was where they said they noticed her and they said, this girl is lagging behind. And said that there's something about her that they would send her for an assessment. And yet I didn't, all this emotional, um, this was affecting me emotionally, but then I didn't accept it. So I took her to a nursery, private nursery, and I was paying huge amount of money. I didn't care because I didn't believe all of them. Anyway, so that was what happened. So the challenge that I faced, and that went on for years. I remember even after she was diagnosed, I still refused. I was in my own bubble. I became depressed because I refused to accept the fact that she's got the special needs. And I remember the social worker actually came in one day to my house and asked if they told me that they wanted to help me introduce me to DLA, disability living allowance, and I was upset. And I chucked her out of my house. I said, "Did I ask you for money?" And that was how I sent the social worker away. And for years, I didn't contact them. I didn't ask for DLA. I just kept myself with my child. So that was a big emotional, challenge that I faced. And that led to depression. So my advice now, looking back, and my advice to my younger self would be that as parents, it's very challenging and it can be emotionally draining. But I would advise that you accept. If you're a Christian, you just turn to God, you pray about it, you take it seriously. Don't be like me, wishy-washy. I didn't take it seriously, but take it seriously and pray about it straight away. If not, accept the fact that this is how God wants it, is giving you a special need child, and that would help you to heal. Once you accept it, that's the beginning of your healing. So my first challenge was not denial.
Right.
Denial. So yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much. You have really established a point that no matter what it is, many a times when we are struck with something unexpected or something that we wish, no, I don't want this. It takes a
Mm,
while for you to internalize it.
it
It's like
does.
some people when they are bereaved, it takes them ages to
Yeah.
accept that no, I
Mm,
can't believe that this person is gone.
mm,
So and wow, it's very, it's human for you to be emotionally disturbed,
yeah.
challenging. But what we can take from this is that you just have to gather yourself one way or the other and then accept the situation and then look for what can I do to improve this situation.
Look for help. Look
Look
for
for help.
support, not only for your daughter. Look
Mm,
for help for yourself because I was in denial. I did not look for help for my daughter from the outset. And
mm.
I did not seek help for myself. So I kept myself in a bubble, which really made things more difficult for both myself and my daughter.
Thank you
So
very
please don't
much.
do that.
Thank you. I've spoken to a number of experts, and one of their recommendation that to help situation is that you have to have a structure in place, and as you
Mhm.
have rightly mentioned as well, supportive environment. So, based on your own experience, what do you think? How can one create a structure and supportive environment at home to help the child to drive, regardless of what the situation is?
Supporting environment for that child to thrive, you need to, like I said, you need to get help for the child. So now the child has been diagnosed. You know that he or she would need expert help. Do not push that away because they would help you to even have a structure. Because especially if you're is your first child, you're a new mother, or even if you're an experienced mother, You still need to understand how to put a structure in place. So the structure that I think I needed at the time was I had my husband, I had myself, and we had to have a structure of what do we think Gracie needed? What did we think she needed at the time? And then we put that in place. So she went to the nursery. And then when she came home, there were some toys that there's some toys that I can't remember the those toys anymore, but I can visualize them. My daughter is 26, so it's been ages that you could buy, that you could help her with at home or him at home, because that helps their IQ. When they start to build because most of these autistic children, they are they visual they're good at visualizing things.
Mm.
I'm a visual person, so they are visual people. And that's why when you put something in a place, and when that thing shifts, they would notice that, what shifted here?
Mhm.
So when you get those toys and you help them and you build it with them, you spend time with them, that helps. It helps them to improve in their relationship and their communication as well. So that is the structure that we put in place to make sure that we spend time with her, and also not to ignore the other children that are in the family as well.
The
So you have
siblings.
to have time for her, have time for the other children. It's challenging. It's easier to say than done, but you have to be intentional about it to make sure that, okay, this is my time. So I remember those days that I think we had like a visual board that we put on our fridge. So that would help us to know that, okay, this is time for Debbie to do our homework. It's hard time to spend time. So maybe you can have Yomi and I will go, and spend time with Debbie to do our homework. So that's how we played it. That's how we manage it.
Thank you very much. Um, please, if you don't mind me asking this. Initially, I mean, it wasn't just you, but at a point, then you became a single parent.
Right.
What are the practical care, self-care? Because it's really important. Yes, it's good for us to look after the child, but the mother or the father of the child, they also need support.
Mm.
Otherwise, it will have felt in actual fact, it's the entire family. So, looking back now, what are the practical self-care strategies do you think parents can use to manage stress and avoid burnout?
Okay. Thank you. Okay, for me, I think I learned from my mistakes. And that was because I put my family, my children, especially my special need child, I put them before myself. And I thought maybe I was a super woman. So I would do everything, juggle things. And then I realized that I was falling apart. I was completely burnt out. How did I know I was burnt out? I'll be in bed and I'll be crying. I'll be walking, driving, and I'll know that I'm tired. I'm dead. I'm just tired. I can't manage this anymore. That is a sign that you're getting burnt out. So what I did was I had to speak to myself. For me, because I think that day I just sat down, I thought, oh, I'm so tired. Then I now remember my car that, hold on a minute. I have a car. If I don't service this car,
Mm,
then this car will break down.
mm,
And if the car breaks down, then the car will not service me. I won't be able to use my car. So that was what spoke to me, and that was what I used to speak to myself, that okay, if I don't look after myself and put myself first, and I'm not being selfish,
no,
then I will break down, and then my children would not have me to help them. I would either be in a mental hospital and the kids will be there with no parents. So I had to put something in place. And that was what I did many years ago. I think Gracie was the first thing I did, though, when I became a single mom, was I had to think of my other children and Gracie, because I saw that we were struggling, and the care of her was affecting the other children. So I put her in a boarding school. So while she was in a boarding school, I had time to manage the other children. But then when she came back from boarding school, I have to put myself first. So I go on holidays like twice a year. I put myself, yeah, I have to go on holidays. Sometimes I go for spa. I just go away for the weekend. I know sometimes it can be expensive, and not all women would be able to afford that. But I understand that the social services can help. So if you are getting burnt down or you think you need a break, I think I heard that social services could help you get that time. You need to take time off. Have a time to yourself, away from the children. And the social services, Gracie used to go to respite. So when I needed to go away before I had a living carer, I would put her in a respite and she will be there for a week or two. And my other children will be cared for by a family member. And then I would go away on holiday. And I realized when I come back, I feel more energetic. I'm happy. I'm not moody. I'm not shouting at the kids. I'm not, I'm just happier. And the kids are even happy to have me. So that's how I manage myself. I still do it. I make sure I go on holidays.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. We all need a break, and I mean, it's a pity that a number of us women from where I come from, we think less of that, of
Mm,
having a break. But when your body is telling you that you need a break, you just have to find the means.
very
Even if
well.
you can't avoid I mean, sometimes I live in Forest Hill. I'm on a break. I'm just at Croydon there, just in one hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
Just about 30 minutes from where, but at least I'm having a break from my usual
Yes.
and
From your known
more
area.
environment. So,
Yes.
and I used to feel very relieved, even if it's just for a day or 2 days. So it doesn't have to be something
Mm.
very expensive or you have to travel far. You just have to
No.
create that break
Mm-mm.
for yourself in order to reset yourself, so to say. And
Mm.
I'm glad.
Sometimes I live in Kent, and sometimes I just check myself in a hotel, maybe like 30 minutes away from me for the weekend that has a spa.
Mm,
It's got swimming pool, it's got what is it called? It's got everything, spa,
mhm,
like swimming pool, jacuzzi, everything. And
mm,
I just go away. And the fact that you're away on your own, it helps you recoup and plan. So
wonderful.
yeah, that is very mhm.
Thank you very much. How can parents effectively Now, this is a major issue because I've spoken to a number of people and they really highlight this. How can parents effectively advocate for their child's needs in school and social settings?
In school, how they can advocate
Yeah.
in they have to be part of the school curriculum. They need to understand what their children, what they're doing in school. They need to have this is it ECHP in place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That
like a
is
care
that
plan.
is that is so important. You need to agree that. And to put that in place, you need to be part of it because they're going to write something down about your child.
Mm,
And you want to know what is written down. And you want to agree every single item that is written down. And if they say there that your child needs a one-to-one support, you want to make sure they agree. If you think actually that your child needs a one-to-one support, don't agree social worker saying that your child should be part of a group support
mm,
because you know your child best and you know that that child needs a one-to-one. Put your foot down. I have a friend that she kept her children. She had twins that are special needs, and she kept them at home for almost a year because she refused the ECSG. They refused to send
mm,
them to the school she wanted, and she fought Bromley Borough
mm,
for almost a year until they accepted. And at the end of it, those kids were sent to the school because she put her foot down.
mm,
So if you think this is what is good for your child, don't compromise on it
mhm,
because you're compromising on your child's future. So how you can advocate is you are their voice, especially when they cannot speak. Even if they can speak, you're the parent and you're their voice, and you know your child more than the social worker. So speak up and advocate and tell them this is what I need for my child. And for you to be able to even say that, you need to know what your child needs.
Exactly.
So you need to know my child needs one-to-one, my child needs to go for some activities or anything, speech therapy. How many hours do I need my child to have that speech therapy? What are the things that you have noticed in that child when they go for speech therapy, if they're improving or they're not improving? Oh, if you're not happy or you don't feel comfortable with any environment that they send your child to, speak because your instinct would always be right. So you always have to advocate for them at school or in their education. In terms of social, well, social environments means, maybe when they go to parties or when they're in church or when they're in out, somewhere where it's not in the within the educational system. Well, you have to make sure that you keep your children in check and also make sure that people are aware of their situation. I think there's something that you can wear for your children like a badge because these children don't look special, they look normal. It
Mm,
is when they start behaving that people would notice. And sometimes they think they're just being naughty. And
mm,
so people treat them like normal and shout at them or shove them, or, other kids don't know how to manage them. But once they wear that thing and say, I am autistic or I'm specially made or something like that, would let people know that, oh, this child is special, then they will treat them specially and they would not be too hostile with them. But you need to be aware or maybe explain. Because I remember my daughter in those days when we go shopping or something, she used to go to people and she would hold their hair, and some people's like, and then I'll say, oh, is she special? And then they will now be nicer. So that's how I've been managing my daughter.
thank you very much. So it's very important for us not to be ignorant. It's very important for us to do some research. It's important for us to take part in something like this summit, knowing about it, be knowledgeable about the situation you are in. And it's not a guesswork. You have to be deliberate, you have to be intentional about things. So if you really want positive things to come out of whatever you're going through. We
And
are
also,
rounding.
sorry, can
Oh,
I just say something quickly? And
oh,
also, you need to, you said something like this, you need to be knowledgeable, you need to network with other parents, you know,
mm,
because it's good to share best practices.
yeah.
If you share your experience with some other parents and they would share their experience, there are some things that you would not be aware of.
Mm,
I have a friend with special needs and we keep in check. Like she would tell me, or even if the social service or Bromley Council say something to me that I'm not sure about, I will check with her. Do you know about, have you heard? Or is there anything? And then she say, sometimes you say, oh, I've heard of it. So it's important. Knowledge is so powerful.
okay.
So don't shut yourself away, and not be part of the system. Because when you're part of the system, you're helping your child.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Thank you very much. My last question is, what are some simple yet effective communication strategies? You've mentioned networking. Or any other, strategies parents can use to connect better with their child?
Strategies they can use to connect to the child. Like I said, there's with me now, what I do with Gracie. She loves puzzles.
Right.
So she loves books. So I use puzzles. And, when we put puzzles together, it's like she's communicating with me. And
Wonderful.
now I understand her because sometimes you look at me and that was enough for me because she's telling me thank you. You know,
Oh,
yes, she's
better.
saying thank you. And sometimes when I come back from work, she will come and she just she give me a kiss. That is communication. She's
Mm,
happy to see you. So the strategy is you have a way of communicating with your child. I know Gracie, when she was in school, she's not in school anymore. They used to use pegs, and she was doing a lot of sign language. You need to learn that sign language because that is another way you can communicate with her. But I don't want to say what I did wrong, in that with that sign language because I never learned it, and now my daughter is losing her skills. But I think it's because we have our own way of communication.
Mm.
So, but you need to just learn what works for you. Use pegs. I read with Gracie. She would come and she would bring a book she wants me to read, and
Mm.
I would read it, for her, and she would be listening. And sometimes she'll bring a scarf because she wants me to, she likes twisting things, or bring her dolls with her and will be twisting. That's communication. And so that's with your child. But with parents, other parents, you need to have a network. It's very powerful, very important. And also like this summit, I think this summit or whatever it is, that you're doing, it's the purpose is to bring parents together and for them to learn from each other. And this is
And
what
create the
you need.
awareness for people.
And be aware, have
Oh,
that
that they are not the
awareness.
only one
Yes,
in it.
exactly. You're not the only one. Yes, it's true because you can always think that you're the only one that is going through this. Let me say this quickly. It took me years to actually say to anybody that I had a special need child because I thought it was a taboo. Like, how would they see me? And because Africans, that's how it works. You are hiding it. You're hiding it. But you don't need to hide it. You need to come out and be aware of what do I do? How do I go about it? And this summit thing is what you need. Now, I wish I had this when my daughter was diagnosed. I never had a lot of opportunities. So in this day and age, you said something like AI, these
Mm.
mother summits, there's so many set
Support.
up supports in place that is out there now. Make use of them.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you very much. You've really gone a long way. And please give our love to Gracie. And we don't mind having her on the show next time when we invite you. Thank you very
New
much for
wave.
coming. Sorry, audience. We would like to end this episode here. I'm sure you've gotten some values from this, and we hope to see you in the next episode. For now, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.